Hi, Brennan again. Okay, so I want to explain the unified social theory as well as possible. Okay, so there is geography and there is general happiness. Now these concepts, we're talking three-dimensional, like if you think about the actual theory in 3 dimensions, which I think is really awesome because, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and, the math, I realize that people start going, no math, there is no Z, Y, X. There's just these flow charts, if you will, and you will, will you? Please? Yeah, I have to laugh because my bike got stolen today, so, I'm just grinding, okay? Rage! Okay, so this is global peace quantified. Now, I really wish I had like an audience, but they're here and then they're gone. As soon as I tell them basically, you can see that the geography of the prime case, the normalcy, the liberating normalcy. This is something that you can see, you can hear, and you can feel with your heart. Okay. As soon as you start thinking about it, you are in the danger zone. Okay, but general happiness, on the other hand, you can only think about it. If you look at it, if you hear it, you're like, you're also in the danger zone. So this is this fundamental thing. Now, the unified social theory, I've been explaining this quite a bit. Actually listening to the radio here. BBC, I like it. So the unified social theory is something that it just has to be verified without getting your thoughts and your feelings mixed up, because that is very tricky. That is scaling the peak of great science that you would only notice on the newest new world on the West Coast if you're like an ultra alien. So this is like the normalcy of ultra alien. Okay, now there are these scales. There's these, there's the three-dimensional scales. If you will. Okay, so I'm doing this on the fly. Okay, everything just kind of comes out when I'm explaining, because a lot of times I'm just kind of in this catatonic sort of thinking state, thinking about the past. I'm trying to calculate everything and wishing I was just in some quiet forest by myself, healing and thinking of St. Valentine's Day. In which I wasn't so dull. So. The scales of justice, so you have that geography and general happiness, which are balancing. They are one beam, but there are slight pivots in the thought and the feeling, in the sort of the mechanisms, the wheel that lifts our feelings up. We're feeling good and brings our thoughts down to earth without them touching, because, like I said, it's like they're like. It's fundamental sociology, stuff that I believe is new, or just not connected. It's just not connected. So on the other beam, there are basically the fundamental beam of sociology, which brings that whole sort of three-dimensional thing, quadratic thing, into focus. And so there's sociology, and this is a bottomless pit. So you're sort of looking down this bottomless pit. People are like. Some people are like, yeah, let's go into the bunny, we're flying, and other people are in limbo in that. Now, on the other end of that beam, of these two beams, there is the Tower of Power. I think all my stuff is pretty cool. Okay, so the Tower of Power.
Is it raining? Oh.
Yes, it is raining.
Oh no! It's raining.
And the Tower of Power deals with engineering, all kinds of engineering, again on the paradigm of invention. Camera. structural sort of inventions and stuff like that. And so one of these is the vehicle of the future, and this is fundamental to architecture and architectural and it's crazy people out there. Architecture and navigation. So it is quite related to the sociological thing, because if you're not going in the right direction, then you're going in the wrong direction, and that is like the fundamentals of sociology, and society, and geography, and normalcy. So what you're doing is you're taking this box basically, which is it came from this invention, the 9 to 5, basically 9 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet. So you have 5 feet in there. So someone very tall, you go in there, and children who are virtually all below 5 feet. That's like a depiction of a child. Under 5 feet, so they walk right in there. It's like a little play fort for them, you know. It's like this ideal little thing. But all adults, like myself, I'm very tall, would be able to crawl in there. Whereas the 4 foot, so it's dimensional ergonomics. I have my little book here. I've been writing in this jot and dot, you know. But I can't find anything in the book. It's like there's no order to it. It's like I have one little string that I can block out one page, and if it has anything good on. So the vehicle of the future is basically, it's just as fundamental, you know. And what I'm trying to say is that I have the potential to do all this stuff with the lecture, with a good audience. I am captivating, okay? I want to be captured, okay? I say like the University of Notre Dame, like, why can't they have me? And
yeah. I'm just
South
raising.
Africa.
Stay at it. Thanks, sir.
So, in Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame, my grandpa gave, $2 million to them? Yeah. That's because I grew up in California, and my dad and my uncle, they went to Notre Dame, but they grew up very close to there. And my grandpa, who gave the money, he just dropped out of junior college. I finished junior college, okay? And he was, a big success. And so this is my father's father gave the money to University of Notre Dame, but his father was this inventor. And I'm not sure where he grew up, but he lived out in South Dakota with the railroad, driving the train for a long time. And there's supposedly some postcards out there, Rosebud, South Dakota, where they're kind of my grandpa, and potentially I believe my great grandpa as well, which I never met. I met my great grandma. I met her once. She was like 90 something in his wheelchair, totally straight back. I was 4 years old when we saw her, and she didn't say it. Out there, you know. So I'm trying to like do this stuff, and here's the big thing. You know, I just got this rental bike stolen today, so it's like crushing me, and I'm living, I'm in this place, this budget hotel, by a train station. You hear the trains are like, it sounds like an earthquake out there. Okay. And the bed is like about half an inch shorter than I am tall, so I'm like miserable there. And I'm trying to be discovered, but it's, I grew up in California, and I'm just at the end of the world. That's where I grew up. That's my mind. When I'm in Europe right now. I'm in England, and I went to Ireland for a week, and I went to Germany for a couple weeks. I went to France, and it was kind of like chaotic. The more lowlands you get into, the more chaotic Europe can be. So I'm in Oxford, England, and it's awesome. You know, it's really awesome. And no, I still haven't fixed my teeth. I still got chipped there. Sorry. Other than that, very nice teeth. And this, okay, I don't. Maybe I should just go back to California. I could do that in like about a week. I chose the new moon to return, but my dad was like, just why don't you just stay there? You know, it's like, everyone's like, why don't you go over there? Go over there, you know, because I've been totally unsuccessful growing up in California. I'm a prime case, someone who is ultra alien, who normatively and geographically and historically. And prime cases, they're like fundamentally in this sort of, what do you call it, limbo, okay? They're in this, they're like trapped in that bottomless pit. They're not moving, they're not having fun, they're not coming into a what do you call it, tunnel, say it's plumbing and stuff like that, you know, you're falling down the drain. And some people the people are in limbo, they're just stuck in the turbulence, and they're not moving. Everyone else, they're going through, and they're like coming out the other end. It's like a black hole, you know, you come out the other end, and it's like another world. Maybe, you know, depending on your virtue, how many pieces you come out in, right? And my notebook, I've always had trouble with my notebooks, and that there's not enough natural dividers in the book, so you don't know what subject you're writing on. Okay, so I'm hoping someone to find me to say, oh, this person is a fantastic intellectual and incredibly caring. I have to laugh because emotional wreck, okay? That's whoa! Okay, so an energy, you know, but it's all very, very sane. So, and you know, I was like an athlete for like, you know, I used to surf big waves, Santa Cruz, all the waves, It's Beach, and you know, fly into the air, you know, cross country when I was a kid. Did the 50 free in 28.5 seconds. From the swim team, and you know, I did poetry, and I would have never really gotten into poetry, but some lady looked at my astrological chart, you know, and she was like, oh, you could be a poet, but don't go to the third world or else you're going to be in really trouble. Well, that was the first place that I went without real chaperones, parents. I went there when I was 21 with my slightly older brother. It was, you know, it was party time for him. And all this sort of, you know, stuff. I try to explain it without sounding at all negative, because magnanimous is one of the things I saw on my thing. And negativity is, you know, something, you can feel that yourself, but, you know, don't try to think about it, you know, save your thoughts for science, for making real effects in the world. Real effects, you know, an argument is not going to do diddly squat, okay? A lot of people are thinking, if there was just an argument, we could win this battle with these dogs and poverty and stuff like that. And when I say dogs, I mean no-class sort of arguments, you know, people who are going to take advantage of any sort of fracture in society. They're going to say, there's a drip, you know, let's go feed on that. But it's your ultimate virtue, quality, intellect, perhaps family upbringing, but I don't think that's the nature of the problem. The general justice is something that we must think about justice. We must think about general nature and general justice. And with an audience, I can like really go, and it's important to know that I kind of quit drinking. I have had a couple beers the last couple of days, just because I've been like having a sort of I'm sleeping in a tiny, I don't know what it is. But other than that, you know, one of the worst things is right after 4 o'clock, it gets to be, you know, 4:15, you know what I'm talking about. I have this problem with my neck, and I think that it's directly related. It's functional economically. That me, Brennan Moriarty, is, whoa, yeah, that, and, that if my confidence, I have this, you know, I've had this like incredibly new world life that very few people have had. Our founding fathers did not have in America. They didn't know the West Coast, and there were very few Asian children who grew up on the East Coast as well, East Asian particularly. This is new history. This is fundamental, and it's opening these doors basically with sanity and compassion. Sanity and compassion is so intense that it is this bottomless pit. Okay, you have to. Yes, you're balance. You know, you're just hiding in the shadows, and you have to laugh at everything. Okay, everything becomes like a stupid joke. You know, people are looking to believe that. Okay. You know, it's like, very focused person, very focused, and I might as well go back to California, even though they said, oh, please try to stay, you know. This finger's broken. I punched glass once, I punched my brother, but we're growing out of that, I guess. After Guatemala, you kind of have to. Reality check set in. My emotions dried up after I went to Guatemala and learned Spanish. If I learned German, it would be quite a different equation. Okay, I would be a much better, saner person if I had learned German instead of Latin American. I mean, Latin, yeah, that's pretty interesting. You know, you can speak that. Scientific, mathematics, blah 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 blah. You know, just arguments with psychopaths. Not my game. LeBlanc, you know. Yeah. The prime case in that, do not explain that to a woman because their feelings are easily distraught, like a man's thoughts are easily distraught. Okay, so this is all these quantifications. So let me talk about the vehicle of the future, F of V. You know, I like that. It's sort of like the function. The wave that you're riding. You know, so you have this bunch of vehicles that are all connected, and everyone has the same mentality. There's a slight randomness there for security, but basically the vehicle of the future is just a box. That now the original 9 to 5, I was telling you about this earlier. The 9 to 5 is just this box, and originally it would just have a top that flipped open, and it would have like a canopy, and so you could open up and have a little office in there. But potentially you would have a double, like a shoebox that would slide up, but it would be a full length lid, so that you'd have like this little office that would fold up, like instantly. You know, just you could push it because it would be light, unless if it were heavier glass. You could have a bulletproof model. You could just have the little fat textiles in there, just for privacy, or I don't know what you're doing in there. You're sleeping, right? Yes. You could have textiles. You could have advanced textiles for more security. But ultimately, you're having this vehicle that is extremely lightweight, not the bulletproof glass kind, but potentially just plastic. But it's all about this software. And so you have, what was this one? Racing Towards the Gates. and more and more and more versus more and more and more. So you could have all this storage, all this video. My computer is actually full of videos of the beach. It's not high quality or anything, but that's a metaphor for too much stuff. And so the navigation would say, oh, what do you really need to be happy? Immediately, everybody, nurture and nature combined. Okay, all right, so now let's talk about the vehicle of the future again. So you just have this box, it's the 5-foot sort of doorway, it's all doors, it's just a few posts, the whole thing. So the floor is kind of there's a paradigm there of should it be liquid or air, cooled / heated. This is one that because I'd like a floor that you can do a little tap dancing and not wake people up. Have a solid floor, but something that's very, very thin, lightweight. Okay, so now the vehicle of the future, you have this box. The original was just this camping unit that's actually just a square that can be disassembled or potentially folded down, but ideally disassembled, put in, just stacked up on that floor unit and shipped anywhere in the world, basically. But what we got to have is a little extra deck on the front or the back, which because it's universal box, all doors. Simply have hinges on the posts. Very simple stuff. So you have that platform for a small engine and other vital components, and now on that platform you can have a diagonal roof going over that, so that you could, if you were in a single drive mode, you would have some aerodynamics on a headwind. You're not, if you're truly vertical square, you're not going to have side aerodynamics. But then again, you press the magic button, you have this navigation system that knows you. It knows everything that is in your area, your specified area, your ideal area. This is like the navigation of the future, where we solve nurture and nature, the general happiness, general justice. These are constantly. It's like a spoke of wheels, and it's like spinning. It's three-dimensional. The sine waves. You have these giant waves in the grand theory of the unified social theory, the grand philosophy of the grand picture. Because math is. I'm not trying to hurt. I'm not trying to scare anyone or derange anyone with math. Okay. You have these waves, and you have basically this ball that's rolling in between the waves, and that's time. So that's the fourth dimension. So X, Y, Z plus A time, and then B, the fifth element. That's me. B. My uncle used to call me B all the time. Beans, I hope Terry. I hope you guys are watching. Here's my card. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So, where did he go? Just kidding. Okay. It's all comedy for me, okay? If you didn't, if you weren't quick enough, you might think, he's gravy. That's cool. I'm suffering. And it sucks, okay? It sucks. And there are no women chasing me around, so. Even on Valentine's Day, they're like, oh, God. I went to the BBC yesterday, and right as I got there, I got off my bike, and I had to cross the road, and this other street, there was like these young girls, and they just stopped, and they're like, why did he get off his bike? I was trying to cross the street, and saddle sore, geez. So anyways, I try not to be a creep or anything like that. Okay, so the vehicle of the future, extreme honesty, yet I know a lot of people, that creeps them out, being totally honest. They'd rather have secrets. And they'd rather someone, start a war or something like that. not what science does. Science solves problems before they happen. You understand what are the elements, space, time, space, and nature, what is the nature of the particles? That's the general justice equation and navigation, okay? So those thoughts and those feelings, keeping them apart, you have basically this energy in between them, and that energy is like an infinity loop, and it's like there's like a crossroads there, and that marks the spot of the energy, of the maximum energy, and that's it. So I'm just hoping that someone like the University of Notre Dame will see me, and they'll be like, okay, it's all a joke to me, I swear to God. It's not a game, though. It's not a game. It's just that I have to laugh because I have to play the fool. I have to suffer the fools because, I've had this like crazy-ass life, crazy, creepy life, and it's all been a study, okay? So I'm always watching, I'm always remembering friends, good people, the occasional glimpse of someone in limbo, those prime cases that I recognize, those dimensions, those elements of that navigational nature, that's sort of the feelings and the thoughts, and people are like, they don't want to be seen. And warmongers will take advantage of this, and it almost seems like the only sort of mentality, the dictator, terrorist. It's all science. It's science. Okay, so I need help. Okay, so. Woo! Yeah. Okay. Please help me. I will save the world. Cheers to laughter. The matter of factor. Yes! Magic! You're alive! You are good! You are good! Fire! Prometheus, alive! It hurts. It hurts. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting.